Hi, this is Prasad. Now I am going to present a video presentation which is individual reflection of the project. My project topic is predictive healthcare analytics using mission language. Supervisor is Mr. Hari Krishna. Lecturer is Mr. Bilal Chaudhary. My client is Tina Arora. These are the main major problems of the final project. There are four problems. The first one is a patient-centric system to gather the medical condition information along with its respective treatment when the patient is brought in. The second one is designed and implemented predictive algorithms that identify potential risks in a patient of developing certain conditions based on recorded data and using historical data as a reference. The third problem is determine the system based on the mission language algorithms to examine the historical data for the patterns. The final problem is as an add-on create a user centric account for each patient treated under his med in an application, make their medical history visible. It gives optional suggestion about the patient that exercise based on their history within the application. Based on these problems, I worked on user stories and its acceptance criteria. I personally gathered and got 10 user stories and acceptance criteria for the 10 user stories 10 user stories and I've showed these user stories and accept criteria to the client and supervisor. They approved my user stories and its acceptance criteria, and they gave me some suggestions like changes of the user stories to the problems to the related problems. So I've worked on their suggestions. Then as these problems main to the final project, and also I got the literature review through the articles. Each week we have performed took four articles and gone through the literature review. These are the justification of a contribution as per skill sets and time allocated to the projects. The research is important to improve project understanding. This project is to be conducted in response to concerns that have been principally motivated by the need for predictive analytics, healthcare using machine learning. Moreover, as a research introduction is an impact chapter in the project report to provide the readers the first impression of the writing style, argument logic, and the general quality of the research. The paper's introductory paragraph should supply the readers with the initial impression. These are the continuation to the previous slide, and in the medical history. In addition, the research background and problem statement and are defined mainly. Then in the background section, you will find the information about what's expected of me as a part of the project, what is the expectations are, and how will be able to meet them. The final one is we were working on our project. We were concerned with the structure of sessions, how to lay the topic to the previous groups and the future groups. Then we make how to present give the presentation as successful as the team member and group work. After the storyboard, the next step is the project roadmap roadmap. This is the Gantt chart for the project. For the project, we I explain what is what we have shown in the Gantt chart. Basically, basically here is the clear explanation about the Gantt chart, and we have covered the different elements in the Gantt and its feature. A Gantt chart is the visual. It is the visual presentation of the project schedules. Also, project activities are shown in the uh, state bar chart to represent completion tasks, which the tasks are like user stories, acceptance criteria, product vision, revised user stories, and project scheduling, scheduling tasks which in progress, tasks in pending, and each task in the chart is highlighted with a different color to differentiate percentage of tasks to represent the status of the project roadmap. Also, we worked in sprint 1, sprint 2 here, sprint 2, and project vision and scheduling, scheduling. These are the comes under the project Gantt chart. Moving to next slide, this is the description of the largest three contributions. The first one is we have been working on the project on predictive analytics in healthcare using machine learning as a team. Therefore, every one of us was committed and contributed fully to the project to achieve our desired goals. I was able to take charge of introduction and product roadmap, roadmap parts, and also in the final in the final as write up document or presentation. I did the product backlog and the project backlog, and I also contributed in the posture of the project. Then under the introduction, under the introduction, I did through research on the problem topic. For instance, I had to develop a problem statement that clearly defined the need for further understanding and investigation. When I was conducting research, I used a problem statement as a claim to describe the issue being studied. The research problem is briefly explained in the problem statement at the first slide. Since the need to use predictive analytics in the healthcare was our focus, why predictive uh, healthcare is healthcare was focus, why predictive healthcare is not being used in the healthcare to save a life. This is the continuation to the next slide. Another thing I was able to do was to find and create user stories. I also explained in the second slide, getting the right balance between stories, stories that don't provide enough details, and stories that do such a way that teams are left in the dark is difficult. Now that is the stories has been shared with the entire team, and we were ready to start working, and also shown to the supervisor, and this was mentioned in the second slide as well. This is a continuation to the previous slide. As a Gantt chart is fundamental when it comes to the project scheduling. It is a part of a product roadmap. A product roadmap explains that you are building, and why you are doing it. The third point is as a strategic document and a plan for carrying out the product strategy. A roadmap serves as both guidance and direction. A Gantt chart is a visual representation of a project that is widely utilized. This is shown this is shown that this is chart shows the previous start date, end date, elements including research planning and dependency as a series as of graphs. Graphs. I was tasked with coming up with our project Gantt chart. This was enhanced by using Microsoft project software to design, to develop, or well fully worked on chart. I had to go through a series of steps. For instance, I reviewed the scope. Baseline. This involved bringing my team together and going over the scope baselines that has accepted the parts considering the parts. This is also continuation to the previous one. The scope statement, the work breakdown structure, and the WPC dictionary. As a project team member, I ensure that the scope baseline covered the whole project scope. The project scope is a main role plays a main role in the project roadmap. I forgot to mention about this project scope in the roadmap. Next, I created the activities and decomposed each a WBC work package into activities using a technique known as decomposition. An effective and efficient final schedule is required. It's possible that having too many pursuits is just as detrimental as having too few. While breaking down the project, it's critical to keep track of deadlines and milestones. Estimating resources and the duration were also crucial for our project. I identified all the resources and estimated how long each task would take to ensure meet its goals at the expected time. This is the evidence of my work. We updated our work weekly. We have almost spent 40 to 40 hours for this project, and we have mentioned it clearly in the evidence of work. This sheet of work is given by Hari Krishna sir, and he is ensured that we have to work based of his vision and as his guidelines. His guidelines. So we submitted everything in the evidence of work. Uh, these are the unique things I learned. Right, I did. Also, I contributed. The first one is as a result of the need to schedule our project. I learned how to break down the large task into small tasks. For instance, you must first define what you are working on as a task or as a project. You can complete a task in a single sitting, regardless of how long it takes. Things that require months, weeks, take days, or even the better part of day should be considered projects instead of tasks. Uh, if it becomes a project, the next thing is to break the project into milestones, including phases, categories, and parts. Continuation to the last one, project based learning not only gave me the chance to work in groups or independently, but it also taught me valuable skills like problem solving and time management that will serve me well in the future. Moreover, I learned how to receive and give feedback on my performance. This was majorly done when sharing my progress with my team members. It was mainly through inquiring how far I was faring on my task and how much I had completed. uh, Ideas to improve the course, what you like the most and the least. The first one is the purpose of predictive analysis to make predictions about how many complexes multiple processes in science, industry, economy, and other domains of human activity will grow in the future. Future predictive analysis can also relate to the objectively occurring environmental phenomena, climate change, geological shifts, and cosmetic events. Furthermore, computerized contemporary information technologies such as cloud, big data sets stored in big data database system can increase the predictive analytics analysis. These are the agile diagram, agile diagram, YY diagram, fishbone diagram. The agile methodology is a way to manage a project by breaking it up into several phases. It's a sorry. Several phases and with the stakeholders, and it involves constant collaborations with the stakeholders and continuous improvement at every stage once the work begins. So using the methodology of line. These are the survey questions. It is the survey dashboard. We have got the almost like a one or three responses. These are my references. Thank you. I enjoyed working on my project. I have got the immense knowledge through the uh, project. Thank you.